Alright, actually, pretty funny. We actually do have a Splinter matchup first, so this right here is Artifact by Splinter. He's got 4 of the same ship, and it's a Temporum ship. Um, Commentary is from the Minimod team because I did ask them a bit about their opinions. Honestly, Wowie, the creator of Temporum, is pretty surprised that a lot of people are playing Temporum, especially because like a single gun thing isn't their strong suit. But it does seem like a popular faction. It's got 2 of the 5 things, so we'll see how that does. And then on the other side, we have Joyous. He submitted a few coral ships. There's 6 of them, and there's 3 different types. So he's got this big one, this medium one, and this small one. I'm not exactly sure what they're called. I'll have to check those later, and I might add them in as like a post edit or something on the actual video. Oh, hi Splinter, you're here. Your faction's up first. I just introduced them, but yeah, you're up against Joyous as Coral. So yeah, I guess I'll just let it start. And oh wait, yeah, so Splinter's running missiles too. I didn't see those. Looks pretty one-sided so far. That armor's gonna be hard to beat, especially in an arena this small. And he's got point defense lasers too. Okay. I guess it's just hidden pretty well by the stacking. All I saw was that one big gun, but it does look like there's a lot of other stuff going on in Splinter's fleet, and Joyce looks really nice, but it's definitely outmatched right now. Yeah, so second match is going pretty similarly, although Artifact is taking a lot more damage now, specifically that one on the far right. Kind of just letting the camera do its own thing right now, but yeah. I think Dill Pickaxe mentioned that he's surprised people were using Coral competitively at all because it's just like it's got that one laser and not much else. Um, but Joyous did pit up a good fight. Alright, I'm gonna write down the previous match information, so this one it's Splinter again. So Temporum ships, now we know that they have missiles and apparently a bunch of point defense crystals in there also. I think I can kind of see them. So interesting design. They move a lot quicker than I thought they would, but I guess it's also the Temporum thrusters. And then we also have Lyelf. I've never really interacted with him, and I gotta say that I'm kind of sad that I've never interacted with him because these ships look insane. Like this amount of hyper stacking and making it look that nice with that much stacking, and then the antenna looks really nice too. Is also a Temporum ship, but I do think these ones have slightly less armaments, I guess, than the other one. These ones have some point defense cannons and some lasers in them, but I don't think they have as much as Artifact, but there are only 3 of them, so they are more P-dense, and I'm kind of curious how this Temporum versus Temporum matchup is gonna come out. Oh wow, okay, I was not expecting that. Yeah, so one of the Artifact ships just bonked another one or something. So yeah, those Lyelf ships are putting up a lot better of a fight, but they aren't dealing as much. I guess this one is doing some work, but no, it's dead. So yeah, those missiles are pretty strong for Temporum. And the point defense cannons too. Alright, I'll keep that in mind for the next thing. Oh, is that why it flew into the other thing? Okay, I guess that makes sense. It didn't affect the score too much, I don't think, so I'm still gonna count this as a result, especially because now they're actually going at it and it does look kind of like the result's gonna be pretty similar. Those missiles from Temporum are really strong. And again, this isn't really a good representation of the factions because everyone only has like outside of what's it called, Ablate, but that one's not released. But outside of Ablate, all of the other factions literally have like one ship that's below 1000p, and then the rest are like super expensive. So it's pretty interesting to watch. Also, those Lyle ships are holding up really well right now. They're all still alive. I mean, oh no, one's dead, two's dead. Okay, spoke too soon, I guess. Honestly, I wonder what a tournament would look like if I allowed the super weapons. That'd be so dumb. Alright, so Splinter wins again. I'm just gonna pause it and mark that down. Alright, so this one is Splinter again versus, this time it's Owl Feathers, and we're doing the, oh yeah, I didn't know that either, I kinda just pressed P. This is Owl's submission, aptly named Whoosh Whoosh Whoosh, because if I'm not mistaken, the only weapons it features are these cluster missile launchers, which I had a lot of fun making, and Owl commented that they did seem stronger than all the Chalice weapons, but they also had a minimum range. So I'm curious how that minimum range is going to pan out in this size of tournament, but yeah, this is definitely the most what I expected from a tournament, I guess. Usually I kind of expect less artsy ships and more of like blocks. I do know that he's using like the staggered armor to create debris, I think, and that might give him some chances to perform better or something. Um, yeah, in terms of all of the other ships, they do look pretty nice, but these ones are definitely really interesting. I want to see how these ones do, and aptly named Whoosh Whoosh Whoosh, so they do have thrusters on them. They can move. I guess they're just not moving right now. Oh no, that one's moving. Okay. Yeah, so Splinter's taking a lot more damage than he was before. Um, but that one Splinter ship is penetrating pretty far into that one Owl ship, so I don't know how that's gonna turn out. I'm curious though, because the Splinter ships always had a lot more thrust in the previous matchups. One of them's already dead. Wow, okay. It seems like they're not using their thrust nearly as much as they could, and that minimum range doesn't seem to be either as big as I thought it was going to be, or it doesn't seem to be impacting as much. But yeah, in case you're wondering, the cluster missiles, in case you haven't played through Chalice, Basically, it shoots one missile. Oh, that's really loud. I guess we'll keep it zoomed out. But yeah. Oh, that's cool. So yeah, so Owl used the long kind of sticks you see here to trick the AI into thinking. Yeah, so they are very loud. I wasn't expecting it to be that loud, so I'm gonna stay kind of zoomed out so you don't have to listen to it as much. Yeah. I mean, this was the first faction I ever made with sound, so if Chalice ends up getting an update, which honestly it might, I might make them a lot quieter. But yeah, it does shoot out an initial missile, and then the initial missile fragments into smaller missiles, and depending on the distance, I guess, because the missile basically does frag, like, regardless, but it has a possibility to frag between like 8 missiles and one, depending on how close you are. And it looks like these ones are pretty consistently fragging. Oh wow, yeah, that was a quick win. Gonna whoops. All right, gonna mark that down. So again, Splinter, and this time it's Ilois Fleet. I'm probably butchering that, so I'm really sorry. Oh, Lyle's here, cool. Um, but yeah, this is Viaten. This is Yadana's faction. It's supposed to be the Minimod kind of starter faction, but it is getting seen in the tournament, which is pretty cool. This design surprises me because it's really big, but it's got like those 3 guns concentrated right here in the middle, and I don't think it has any other weapons. Maybe that all of that armor is gonna work out somehow. I don't know, but this is gonna be an interesting matchup. So yeah, they do seem to be holding up really well to those Tempora missiles, but damage output isn't super great either. Eloy submitted this under like 3 names, so I'm not sure if it's called the Yes Fleet, Boom Boom, or Band. But they're actually doing really well. That Viseri armor is really good. It's all 3 are alive versus yeah. Yadana's pretty surprised. I think Yadana said he thought everyone was gonna play Trespassers just because they have like the stupid overpowered guns, but they are doing really well right now. Oh, I think this one's gotten cored. Yeah. This one, oh yeah, this one too. Huh. That's surprising. I wonder how that happened. I think Trespassers might have been a turn off for everyone just because as soon as you loaded in the block palette, everything ate shit. That's weird though. They're not using the big guns at all now. It's just like pissing on the ships. Elois is making fun of you even though he's not here. I would assume that they'd still try to shoot through debris though. Oh wow. So it looks like Artifact is doing a lot better this time though. I probably just because they're clumped up. But it looks like they're gonna get at least one of the Yes fleet now, or Boom Boom I guess. I don't know what this fleet is called. Yeah, originally I didn't really look at VA that much, but apparently they were super strong, so I got recommendations to get rid of them, so I did. Yeah, so I don't know what the difference in that round was. Maybe just the artifact ships stayed a lot closer together. All right, it's gonna come down to this one. Yeah, so Chalice actually does have AI hint range and velocity because Owl Feathers told me to. And that was like pre-tournament release, but no one used the Chalice guns, so it's pretty funny. Dude, that's so weird. At some point, they just stop shooting. I guess there is debris in front of that one ship, but like, and this one's just not doing any. Oh, that one's a core. Never mind. Did you design those ships on purpose like that so they like core out or something? Splinter? Yeah, because they seem like they're doing a really good job at just like getting destroyed in a way that it drops armor or something. Alright, I was not expecting that outcome from how that first round ended. So now it's Joyous against everyone. Let me just write down the results of that match. So a lot of people have joined since when we had first matchup with Joyous and Lylf, but just quick reintroduction. Here's Joyous's fleet. He used Coral, and I mentioned before that everyone was kind of surprised Coral was used at all because it was originally intended to be unplayable. Yeah, Dill's writing right now, Lamau, someone used Coral, so pretty interesting fleet right now. They do have a lot of lasers in the middle, so that's a pretty interesting strategy because usually on the artistic ships they're just kind of yeah, but they do look really nice. And then Lylf is using Temporum, also insane ship. And I mentioned earlier, I'm kind of sad I've never seen Lylf post anything ever before because these ships look really nice. But these ones are Temporum. Yeah, it's it's definitely not what Temporum originally looked like, and it doesn't look like a hex palette, but it is. So I don't know, but I really like the antenna used as like a kind of decorative thing, and it's got some cannons in there. It's got a lot going on. So these ones are really P-dense, and I'm honestly surprised when I first saw these that these ones is exactly 1000 P. So I guess without further ado, we'll let them fight it out. So Lylth is doing really well for this first thing. Um, partly because the ships seem pretty well designed in the previous fight, but also just because Coral wasn't really ever intended to be used as a competitive faction. Although I've mentioned this before and I'll mention it again, Wowie was really surprised that people use Temporum at all because they are meant for their big guns and not in a small tournament setting like this. As I said it again, like everyone kind of built their faction outside of like Coral and Viaden, which isn't released, or Coral, not Viaden, Coral and Ablate, which isn't released. All of the other factions have like one ship that's below 1000 P and everything else is huge. Yeah, they have a tough core. I'm probably partly because it's also pretty big. Dill, do you know off the top of your head like what the DPS per P of the laser is? All right. Dill's pulling that up right now. I guess I'll start loading in the other thing. Okay, yeah, so that's not that bad. That's actually pretty good. I don't know. Maybe they're just really lightly priced. Oh, I guess 800 range, yeah. Anyway, here's Joyce's fleet again with the Coral, and this is Owlfeather's fleet. It's called Whoosh 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 because it's super loud, so I'm gonna have to kind of zoom it out just because otherwise it becomes kind of unbearable. But these ships are pretty interesting. They have a ton of thrust, but they don't use it at all until ships get close. And these red spikes here are kind of to just like make the AI think that like when a ship is getting too close, it backs off because these missiles have a minimum range. Um, but yeah, it's Chalice vs Coral, and these ones have been pretty effective so far. It's got the tournament-y armor that intentionally creates debris. It's got these spacers, and it's got you wanted to use the pipes. Yeah, so these ones have to be zoomed out, otherwise those missiles get really loud. But as you can see, those missiles are pretty insane because if you let them kind of like charge, I guess, for the entire range that they are available for, you end up getting the full 8 missiles, each of which deals like 200 damage, I think. Versus if it explodes too close, you might only get like 1 missile. So these things took forever to get to work and forever to balance, and even balancing them was super hard just because it's like such a weird concept. But yeah, I definitely really like seeing the missiles in a tournament, and I don't know, maybe they're a bit OP. Owl did mention that they're really strong, but it might just be the fact that they're intended to be used on like a bigger setting, I guess. Yeah, honestly, a lot of these submissions look really nice, and Owl is the only one who just built an oval. Oh yeah, I guess I can show your other submission, Owl. I did get banned because I actually forget why. I think it was using one of the overpowered temporum blocks or something, but Alright, so Joyce versus Alois again. These ships are interesting. I wonder if they're actually going to shoot this time. I don't know. They seemed like bugged out last game. And that was really slow. But I guess that V8 armor is pretty heavy. Oh wow, these corals are doing work though. Like, that's a lot of damage on that one ship. But I guess if they get too close, then... Oh yeah, I completely forgot Big Sand was a thing that existed, because that was like supposed to be an in-joke meme, and I guess it didn't get removed, because Wowie said he was going to remove it, and then I guess he didn't. I don't know. Yeah, it's huge generation, but it's also like just completely destroys the entire ship when it explodes. Wow, that was fast. All right. Maybe give them a bit more range. I don't know. All right, so we're on the last few rounds. We've got Lyelf versus Owl Feathers. So just quick reintroduction, even though everyone's here. This is Lyelf's faction. Looks really nice. Is using Temporum. This is Owl's faction using Chalice blocks, specifically the missile launchers. And gotta zoom out because it's loud as hell. Yeah, damn, those missiles are pretty overpowered. I don't know, I might nerf them a tiny bit, maybe decrease the damage. I might ask Huawei if I can just re-release like a balanced version of Temporum and say like this is a no fun version of Temporum and play the actual mod. I mean, he's not into reassembly anymore, so he probably wouldn't care too much. Although these ships are holding up really well to all that pressure from the missiles. Right as I say that, one of them dies. Oh, okay, now it looks like it's slowly gonna be gone. Yeah. I had so much fun making the Chalice stuff. I like honestly, they're really nice. Miniguns could use a buff. I don't know, maybe. I mean, I think they're already at like 10 DPS per P. Yeah, flamethrowers outclass it, but chain guns are meant to be like kind of I don't know. I feel like if I decreased the spread on the chain guns, that would be the buff they needed. Because right now their spread is pretty comparable to the flamethrowers, which is like massive. especially if you range in like how it kind of goes out in like a trumpet bell, I guess is the best way to describe it. It's like exponential. But yeah, there's definitely because I think miniguns cost like 20 to 40p, and the flamethrowers cost like above 150 and 300. So obviously they're gonna outclass it, but also the DPS per P on the miniguns is pretty high anyway. It's like 10, I think. So yeah, I don't know. If I do end up buffing it, it'll probably just be uh, increasing the, or sorry, decreasing the spread. This is dodging all these missiles. This is pretty funny. You can see them all just like miss. Yeah, so the way the initial missiles work is that like it's got really stupid high torque. So that big missile has I think like 400,000 torque. I don't know, but the torque is like 20 times whatever thrust it has. So those things can turn on a dime. And then after they launch into like the small missiles, those ones have like a really small torque, so it's hard for them to hit anything. They can turn around, but it's like, yeah. DPS per P is I think 12 for the flamethrower. Torpedoes and the ray guns. Torpedoes are really, really good. They're just really, really susceptible to point at like anything that hits them, which isn't good. And if I was gonna buff them, I think I'm gonna just change it into a cannon thing that like uses. Oh, they're overpriced. I thought they were underpriced. I specifically made them like really, really as cheap as I possibly could. But yeah, here's Lyelf again, Temporum versus Alois running Viaden. Fun fact, Viaden are birds. But yeah, ray guns are definitely garbage. To be honest, I'm not sure if those were ever going to make it into the mod at all. I mean, birds don't exist on Earth because all of them went to space and became a Minimod faction. Oh, it might be 18. I don't know. I'm just kind of misremembering numbers, but I could be 18. I'm not sure. This Viaden fleet is doing a lot better than I expected it would, though. When I first saw it, it had like 3 guns. I'm like, wait, what? But it's doing really well. No, I guess if V8 doesn't exist, we're just gonna have to ban Owl Feather, or sorry, Alois from the tournament a second time. Alois is not watching this. Everyone ping Alois and tell him he's banned. All right. Last matchup. Oh, they're so loud. I want to zoom in, but it's so loud. Oh no, he's getting destroyed right now. Those missiles, yeah. They're doing okay, so yeah, this is where they excel against like slow ships without point defense. Oh, rip. It's getting ripped apart right now. Jeez. Yeah, I think the big thing in previous rounds was just that they like weren't hitting targets. Uh yeah, I don't know how I would nerf them. I guess just damage decrease, but I don't want them to feel like super weak either. I don't know. Um, I don't know. I might run another tournament at some point. If I do, it's definitely gonna be significantly more P. That sounds funny, significantly more P. Um, Significantly more P. Make the biggest coral ship. Do it. Uh, all right. So, oh, okay. I guess that got cut off before I could show it, but yeah. So it looks like Owl definitely wins overall. Um, Owl wins 4-0, and I don't think he lost any rounds at all. Yeah, he didn't lose any rounds at all. 5 submissions. Yeah, so pretty short tournament overall. In second place, I think is Splinter. Uh, he's got 6 wins or 3 wins, I guess. 2-0, 2-0, 2-1, and 1 loss to Owl Feathers. Um, it looks like Elois is second. No, wait, never mind. Actually, yeah, Alois and Laelf, I think, are tied for second place because they both have 2 wins, or just 1 win, sorry, and Joyce came last. Laelf might place higher though because his overall is better. He had a 2-0 win versus Alois had a 2-1 win. Oh wait, no. Sorry, Laelf wins and Alois is tied with Joyous. Alois didn't win. Did he? I don't know. This is really convoluted. Okay, it's don't make fun of my mods. This is gonna watch. This absolutely destroys your mods. Let's get rid of this one and oh wow, this is still over. Okay, these ones got balanced recently, but I don't know. Let's let's do a bracket. Oh no, it's gonna get destroyed. Never mind. Yikes. All right. uh, that didn't happen. Yeah, give me